Yo, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another video, and today we've got some college football 25 gameplay. Yes, gameplay. Finally, we get our first look at how this game actually looks, how it feels. Well, not how it feels, but animations, different things that they've added into the game, crowd noise, just visual, audio stuff. And we got Donovan Edwards playing against Bordeaux, of all people. Seems like a very weird combo if you haven't really been in the, I guess, Madden / just YouTube football community recently. Bordeaux has come onto the scene as of recent, I guess you could say. Pretty big YouTuber, though. If you don't know him, go check him out. We got Texas and Michigan, and then they play a second game of Penn State versus Michigan. Obviously, Donovan Edwards, being the Michigan running back, plays as Michigan for both games. And of course, if you haven't seen this video already, it'll be linked in the description below, so go check it out because I'm just going to be talking over it, giving you guys kind of the pointers and what I thought were the big messages in the video. It's 21 minutes long, so if you can't watch through that and you just want to get the quick points, well, you're at the right video. But if you do want to go check out the full thing, I highly recommend it because they go a lot more in-depth than I probably will about this type of stuff, so let's get right into it. All right, starting off with animations, and as you can see on the screen, the throwing animation is different. There is timing to these throws. I believe they went over it. There's red, yellow, blue, and green throws. Blue is probably where you're going to be most of the time. Green's like on the money. Red and yellow gets a little questionable. Your players still can catch the ball. However, it's just going to be placed maybe behind them or way out in front of them. They got to go dive for it. So that's where DBs might be able to get their hands on balls, pause. You know what I mean? Like, that's where mistakes are going to come. And I do like that part of it because with Madden, it's just become so stagnant. You just hit a button outside of this past year, I guess, where they finally implemented it. But you still didn't have to use it. But it is nice that they finally have created something new in the throwing animation, because the way it has been for a while has just been pretty standard. This way you have a lot more control. You'll see in this video as well, Bordeaux hits such a nice throw down, I believe, the left sideline, over the top of the corner that Donovan Edwards was trying to get a pick on, and it was placed on the money. And that's another thing. You've got to have the quarterback that can actually make the throw. But accuracy is huge in this game from what I have seen. And wear and tear, which we will get to in a second, also can affect that accuracy the longer you go in the game or the more your quarterback gets hit. So those are some things that you've got to take into account. But as far as the timing and the throwing animation, I do like that aspect of it. It'll be maybe a little bit of a change for some people and kind of hard to pick up on, but I think it'll be much easier to pick up on than you might think. All right, now let's go to wear and tear. Wear and tear, obviously we've seen it before in one of I believe the gameplay deep dive, they highlighted it a lot. And it's going to play a massive, massive factor, and it showed after one of these games, they showed that all of the overall ratings that dropped from just one game on each player, from the hits that they took. Donovan Edwards used himself a lot in the run game, and his speed, strength, agility, all of that stuff by the end of the game was down, at least 2 or 3 overall per category, just from wear and tear alone, from getting the ball and having so many touches in that one game. Lost a lot of attributes, so that's something you have to watch out for, especially when I know a lot of people are going to be playing Dynasty, Road to Glory, because in Dynasty, you're going to have to manage that on a week-to-week basis, because say you have a guy like Quinn Ewers or maybe a Jalen Milroe that you're playing Dynasty with, who's on your franchise, or just a star quarterback in general, where they get lit up against a defense one week. You might have to leave them out of practice, or however that's going to work. Give them a lighter practice load. Maybe they're not in the weight room as much, so that they can get themselves at least maybe to 95% or 90% by the time it's game day. Because I'm not kidding, wear and tear, I think, is going to be a lot bigger of a thing than most people think it is. They might think that it's just a game-to-game basis, and yeah, when you're doing Play Now maybe, or Ultimate Team, maybe it is. But for Dynasty, and a lot of people I know are going to be playing Dynasty, you're going to have to watch out for wear and tear. They did highlight it in this video as well. And they also there's a fatigue bar and a wear and tear bar under your player. So you can see it when they're in game. Maybe you can sub them out for a couple plays, give them a rest, give them their stamina back, their endurance, give them a breather, but also give them a break if they just took a massive shot, because you don't want to put them back out there and then risk an even worse injury. Now to maybe my favorite part after watching this whole thing, the ball carriers animations. Bordeaux was using the spin move a ton. Donovan Edwards was just doing these subtle little light jukes that weren't really even jukes, but the stick responsiveness, it looks like it is so much more responsive and more arcade-like, so you have a lot more control of the ball carrier when you're trying to maybe go in between tackles, or just, we saw it on Donovan Edwards' first touchdown where he just kind of weaved his way through the blocks. You haven't been able to do that in the last couple of Maddens. You had to either let off the right trigger or do a quick juke with the right stick. This was all left stick movement, which I love. He didn't really have to do anything. They were just quick, subtle moves that got him into open space quicker. So thank you, EA, for doing that. I am so glad I saw it in this video, because we saw it a little bit in the gameplay deep dive, but we didn't really know how it would actually work. And also, these moves could be affected because Donovan Edwards is a superstar player or a star ability trait player. So maybe that's what it is. But, Bordeaux was using guys who didn't have that. So was Edwards, and they were both getting really nice juke animations. Some subtle, some a little more aggressive, but it looked really, really clean. And quickly to go along with that, there's now 3 different pitch types. There is the quick pitch, the strong pitch, and the fake pitch. Because obviously in college football, you have triple, quadruple, double. You've got a lot of different option plays that offensive coordinators run and offenses run. So really nice to see that they added those things, because you have your quick pitch, just flick it out really quickly if you are running maybe a speed option. Strong pitch is when you hold, I believe, the left bumper or L1 on PlayStation. It'll give a more accurate hit the runner in stride, and they do go over this in this first look, but just to give you guys the quick overview. And then I believe it's if you double click LB or L1, whatever you play on Xbox or PlayStation, it does a fake pitch. So that'll be really interesting, because again, we have not had that in previous Maddens. Maybe they did this year, I don't know. I didn't really play Madden 25 or 24 a lot. They've all been the same, and they've all been kind of dog water the past couple years, but just to highlight that, I do like that they added that as well. Alright, last couple things, especially for offensive gameplay. We have custom hot routes and also turbo offense. Now, custom hot routes, you can, they showed it in this, I believe it was Bordeaux who was using it. He could either lengthen or shorten the curl route is what he was doing. I wonder if you can also push slant routes farther or bring down post routes, or how that works. Or maybe you have to have, your quarterback has to have that ability, or maybe it's a wide receiver that has to have that ability, like in Madden where you don't always get all the hot routes. I don't think you can actually make a hot route, but I am glad that you can lengthen or shorten routes. I do think that was a really neat and just slick addition, because it will be very helpful, especially in short yardage situations, like, you run a curl hook from the 1 yard line or 5 yard line or something, but like say this last year in Madden, you want to be able to do that just quick 5 yard curl, and you want to run it with the combination of routes on the other side of the ball, but the only way you can do that is to run a 10-yard curl route from the 5 yard line, so then your receiver's going to the back of the end zone when you really only need them to go to the goal line, or maybe a step further and then come back. So again, neat addition. Maybe it's not as big of a deal as I might think, but on to turbo offense now. Turbo offense, basically just no huddle, to put it shortly. They did highlight, however, that when you do this consecutively, the defensive line and probably even the offensive line, I would have to imagine, reacts a little bit slower each time you do it. So the fatigue really, really sets in. So that could be huge in 2-minute drills, late game situations. Push the urgency and keep your foot on the gas to try and really wear out that defense and maybe capitalize on it as well. All right, let's finally get to the defensive side of things, because there was definitely one thing that I want to highlight in there that they showed. You can now disguise, or shell is what they call it, but it's a disguise coverage, which is an audible that you can choose to do either pre-play or even after you pick a play. You can go into a different sort of shell to disguise your coverage. Maybe you're disguising a cover 2 or a cover 3 or a blitz. Really, really cool addition. I'm surprised they haven't added this already to a Madden, but, EA, they take a little bit. We'll give them their grace on this, though, because they really did take the time to add that into this game, and I'm glad they did, because that's going to really mess with people, and I think it's going to be a really fun addition. It's going to actually make people have to do more than just pre-snap reads of the defense, so really cool addition there. And now to the last couple of things, the Stadium Pulse. They went over it in the deep dive as well. It is going to be a massive thing. When Bordeaux is playing in Penn State at Happy Valley, when that game first starts, before Donovan Edwards kind of takes it over, that crowd is rocking, and you can hear it. And obviously, like I said, it messes with the play calling, whether you're trying to do audibles. We kind of saw that a little bit in Madden the past couple years, but I think that's a really, really neat addition because, for one, that's what makes college football is the fans. So I'm really glad that they added that, and obviously maybe you go down to Death Valley, LSU, that place is going to be rocking in big-time games, let me tell you. And, of course, with how electric crowds can be, there's also the flip side of things. When you're the away team, and it shows in this video when Donovan Edwards does take over this second game, a couple pick sixes, he gets up big. That stadium is dead quiet. It's like no one is even in that building outside of maybe a couple Michigan fans. So that's another thing. If you're the away team, you got to take over that game quickly, like he did in this first look, because if you don't, the fans are going to be in it for the entire game. And I almost forgot, but the kicking animation. This is a massive change. We all know that college kickers are extremely inconsistent across the board. It is what it is. They're not professional kickers for a reason. They are still improving, and I feel like college kickers have gotten a lot better over the years, so I will give them that. But they are not consistent. Like, that is a fact. College kickers aren't consistent, and the new animation doesn't make a field goal, especially, a 55-yard field goal, just a gimme. You really got to time it up, and I believe there's 2 different stages of it. You have the bar that's kind of going back and forth, and then you got to line up the arrow as well for power, I'm pretty sure. I might have that wrong. Again, to clarify, just go to this deep dive. I'm just giving you the quick highlights, so. But that kicking animation is going to make online games especially very, very fun and a lot more interesting, especially in late game situations. And even in Dynasty and Road to Glory, like the offline modes, it's going to make ends of game or end of half even way more interesting, because you got to really get into field goal range, or else the pressure's on and you might screw up big time and miss out on a key 3 points. Last thing that I just want to quickly touch on as well, weather. It looks pretty similar. We really only saw the visual of how a snow game looks is what they gave us. The visuals for it, though, look pretty similar. However, the gameplay sounds like it'll be different. They said that the weather will actually affect how players play and how accurate your quarterback will be, because obviously it's a lot harder to throw a slick ball or catch a slick ball, or even if you're playing in the snow, a rock hard frozen ball hitting your hands. It is a lot more difficult to catch in those conditions, as crazy as that might seem to people who are watching football from their couch. It is harder to catch when you have weather conditions that are torrential rain or blizzard-like conditions. So good addition there, because that has not been in recent Maddens. All right, I think that is all that I wanted to go over for you guys. Like I said throughout this video, though, if you want the full, I guess, deep dive into this gameplay and listen to the developers of this game talk about these things a little more in depth than me, go check this video out with Bordeaux playing Donovan Edwards, because it is pretty cool. Just, seeing their reaction to the game, hearing it from them rather from me, who has not played the game yet, who has just been able to look at these deep dives that EA has given us. So go check it out. I highly recommend it. Thank you guys so much for watching, though, and I cannot wait for within a week now. If you pre-order, we will be able to have our hands on this game. I cannot wait. But again, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment down below your thoughts on this. And we've got a stacked schedule coming up this week. We've got Ultimate Team tomorrow, I believe, and then Thursday is rosters, and Friday is something else. I'll have the picture up for you. But again, thank you guys so much for watching. Love y'all. Take it easy, and peace.